Nepal has been gripped by massive protests over the past few days, with youth led demonstrations escalating into violence and raising questions about the country's political future. The army is now in charge, and uncertainty looms over who will lead the next government. We are now joined by Manindra Rijal, former Defense Minister of Nepal. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
Sir, the army has taken charge after several days of violence. What is the situation now on the ground in Nepal?
The situation has gotten better now. We have not been witnessing the violence that we did a few days back. But instead of saying that army has taken the charge, I would say president, who by the constitution is expected to preserve and defend the constitution, has been in constant touch with the Nepal army. Nepal army has been coordinating with him, with the other security organs also, and then of course the leaders of the movement. So what I'm hoping is peace, law and order will prevail soon, and then we can get a resolution out of it, and then pick the pieces from the assets, and then move forward from here.
Yes, sir. And there's been a lot of speculation about who will take charge of the governance next. We're hearing the name of Kulman Ghising. Can you tell us more about this?
No, I do not. I'm not privy to any of that. I don't want to speculate on who it would be. It's largely for the leaders of the movement to decide who they can trust. I mean, that trust is of enormous importance right now. We as political parties, as they used to call us in past mainstream political parties, I will now call ourselves as legacy parties. We have to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. We will facilitate the process. We should not have any ambition now. We should not be creating any trouble that precipitates the situation and aggravates the situation.
Yes, sir. But for viewers who may not know him well, can you briefly talk about Kulman's background? Why is his
No,
name
no,
coming
I
up at
cannot.
this
I
moment?
cannot do that. I cannot do that.
So, in your view, what triggered this sudden and widespread uprising in Nepal?
The trigger point was that the social media was banned, and I guess the biggest problem was uh, government could not recognize that recognize the message, and then sound a solution in banning the messenger or the medium through which message was coming. Social media was not behind fueling the frustration. Frustration is out there. It seems. I mean, what it amply tells us is we as legacy parties, we have lost touch with people of Nepal. So we have to build back our parties. Until then, we cannot harbor any political ambition. We have to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. So I mean, if we do not throw our towel in, but just help the process move forward, that would be our contribution to the process. But the thing is, leaders of the movement also have to understand that the constitution is there. We nation cannot function in a constitutional vacuum. Regulation has to be found within the parameters of the constitution. Constitution basically entrusts president to preserve and protect the constitution, and based on the necessity in the larger interest of the nation, we can find something that would not constrain the imaginative solution that's possible. But at the same time, the threats of the constitution will stay there, so that all of Nepal can trust and take faith that movement process is going to move forward. We will not regress back, but we'll move forward. Uh, there so much. Four generation have sacrificed for uh, promulgating this constitution, not just one generation. So Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal with inclusive politics has to stay there. Uh, Ambition of political party is not important. That can be secondary. That should not. Basic point I'm saying is that should not preclude any possible solution. Solution can be as imaginative as possible, given the situation that we are in. And then again, I would emphasize we have to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And then for that, I mean, we have to rest aside our ambitions, but at the same time, we should be reminding the movements of the leaders of the movement that uh, constitution has to be respected. A solution has to be found within the parameters of the constitution, but the solution can be as imaginative as possible, but at the same time should be acceptable to them also.
Yes, sir. But do you believe there has been any outside involvement or encouragement behind these youth-led protests?
I do not have any information. I rather not blame others, but rather try from here, take the lesson, and then build my party back together. I mean, without any ambition, just building the party back together, taking party back to the people, talking to people. Clear messages. We've lost touch at the base. I mean, we have to build the base back together.
So
So
you're talking
instead
about
of
building
instead
basis.
instead of instead of blaming anybody else, I mean, I rather take a lesson from here and play a role that Nepali Congress has always played in past 80 years for the betterment of the country, for the greater good of the country, and stay focused for the duty, for what needs to be done to find a positive solution that preserves Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal and that preserves inclusivity in politics and that preserves uh, our nationhood.
So what are the biggest challenges that you see then for Nepal's democracy? You talk about solutions, but what are the challenges that you have to face to come to any solution?
The reason why I'm emphasizing this, that the solution should be within the parameters of the Constitution is if there is a vacuum, right? At the spur of moment, anything can happen. And then during this movement also, first day, basically, uh, leaders of the movement were out there. They had genuine grievances. Sadly, almost two scores of people lost their lives. Almost 40 people lost their lives for absolutely no reason. But that was a gross failing on the part of the government. But at the same time, the violence that escalated thereafter, right? That was not because of him, but I mean, uh, people were taking advantage of the sentiment that's out there, the frustration that's out there. So, I mean, leaders of the movement, once they lead the country, it is incumbent upon them to see that the peace prevails, to see that the process moves forward, to see that gains of the uh, 4 generations of struggle is preserved, and then we will not head into any other accident. And liberty, democracy survives, thrives, and we build our nation back together.
And there's been a lot of speculation about former Prime Minister KP Sharma's whereabouts. Do you have any idea about his whereabouts or
No, I
what
have
is
no
next?
idea. I have no idea. I don't want to speculate on that. I read the statement and assume that he's safe. I wish safety for everybody. I mean, he could not stood up to the challenges that was there. That was very sad.
And now that there's a vacuum, sir, names like Balin Shah, Shushila Karki are floating as possible leaders, yet both of them have declined that they want any role. Why do you think that is?
No, I would not speculate on that. That's not my job. What I'm trying to emphasize here is we want to be part of the solution, not the problem. We have to build our parties back together. A party of like Nepali Congress that has a history of 80 years, that has been there with people through all ups and downs in the history of the country for the last 4 generations. And now we have come to a situation, a historical juncture, where it's very clear that we have lost our touch with the people of Nepal. We have to worry more about that. I mean, let leaders of the movement sit down with president of the country and with his support, find a solution, find a person who is acceptable to everybody to lead the nation.
And what role is the opposition playing in this entire fight for finding a solution and peace?
Opposition meaning whom?
Your party, sir, you and the leaders that you know of, what steps
Yeah,
are you taking also
what I
personally?
really want to emphasize is, I mean, we have to recognize the failings on our part, and then rather than precipitating the situation or aggravating the situation, we rather lie low and be part of the solution. Then, I mean, put our foot and then start bargaining. We should not be doing that. We'll be dumb. We'll be less than honest to the cause of nation if we start doing that.
Like you said, the youth of Nepal were frustrated and they're upset about a lot of points. Do you think now the moment has come that realistically a change can come about in Nepal's political system?
Uh, we all have to rise up to the challenges. We all have our different roles. Leaders of the movement now have a chance to lead and deliver what they have promised and what they have aspired. And we have now a time to build our parties back together and start rebuilding our base, rebuild the touch that we have lost in the past.
And what do you think is
But
the
for
mood
us, the
like?
bargain, the biggest bargain is constitution has to stay. We don't have any ambition. We don't harbor any ambition, but the constitution that represents the sacrifices made by four generations of uh, people in Nepal, that has to stay.
So, and what do you think is the mood like now among these young protesters? Do they feel like they are finally heard, or they feel alienated since, even former Prime Minister fled the country?
But but now, I mean, the situation has changed, right? I mean, they want to take charge. The country is ready to let them run the country, but and the challenge, it's their responsibility to rise up the challenge. I mean, we should not be telling him what to do, what not to do. The only thing is, as long as they honor our constitution, as long as they take the country in the path of peace, prosperity, and democracy, liberty, we should all be okay with that.
Yes, sir. And is there any message that you would like to send to the youth of Nepal at this critical juncture that we're at?
We are with you, but I mean, you have to honor the constitution of Nepal. Find something within the parameters of the constitution. We will help. Then again, fourth time, I'm saying we want to be part of the solution. We don't want to be part of. We don't want to become problem. We will help in every possible ways that's possible. But at the same time, constitution has to be respected, regarded, and as long as the solution is found uh, within the parameters of the constitution. Uh, it can be imaginative, very imaginative, but still, as long as it's within the bounds of the constitution, parameter of the constitution, we can move ahead from there.
Okay, sir. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for your precious time and speaking to us today about what's going on in Nepal and what's next for Nepal. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.